Roth Radio, David Lee Roth, extra large, New York, Philly, talking to Dallas, Boston, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, West Palm Beach, the entire free world. DavidLeeRoth.com is the bomb. And speaking of the bomb, I've got the ultimate guitar player ever on the phone, Brian May from Queen. Brian, how are you?
I'm very good, Dave. How wonderful to talk to you.
This is an amazing meeting here. Who would have ever thought upon this very mountain we would first ever enjoy each other's company?
It's fantastic. How come you ended up in New York City and not in glorious sunny California?
Because this is where this is a good question. This is where all the rivers confluence happens. This is where all the cultures butt heads. This is where worlds collide. Probably 30% of New York is actually from New York, and the rest of these colorful characters are like you and me. We came from somewhere else. And in 182 language here, even in the street, we look over each other's shoulders and go, hey, where'd you get those shoes?
Fantastic.
Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from?
I'm in Washington, Dave. Yeah, on our way over. We'll be there pretty soon.
And how many states are you doing on this tour, Brian? Where are you playing?
We do 23 dates all around. You know, we go up the East Coast, and then we do bits of the Midwest, and
it's the full American diet,
which we love, and then and then California, and up the West Coast, ending up in Canada.
How many shows have you already done, Brian?
We done 4.
And how's it going?
It's great. I can't believe I'm doing this, really.
Why don't you believe this? Explain. Share with us.
Well, it was a long time. You know, we lost our Freddie, and for a long time, I guess I just protest too much. You know, I just kind of didn't want to know about it. I didn't want to replace Freddie, and I was quite happy just doing other stuff in my life. You know, I was having quite a good life, as a matter of fact.
I know. Just when you get out, they drag you back in.
Yeah, but then something happened. I met Paul Rodgers, and suddenly thought, wow, he's a guy I could really interact with. You know, we could be a real band again.
What is it that causes that kind of interaction to exist for you? What do you blame that on, in a good way?
It's the same stuff as when we were kids, I think. You know, you just have to do it. You meet someone and you can make music, and you think, yeah, this is what I do. I like to do this.
I think it's critically important that what happens usually with a band is that you grow up in the same neighborhood, listening to the same records, dating the same girls, trading the same cars. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're not quite that close, but we definitely come from the same place. I mean, Paul Rodgers was a hero of ours. I mean, probably yours too. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. You're both my generation. That's what I grew up on. You know, I'm only a few summers behind you guys, all the way to the degree where it's great listening to your voice on the radio, because when we would do sound checks, we always pretended we were English, and we would go, check 1, check 2, check 3.
That's great. I saw you guys a lot of times, as you know. I was a huge fan. You know, you guys were just the pinnacle. You know, I enjoyed it.
Well, we were a delicate, not so delicate house blend of what you were doing times the guy in Led Zeppelin meets James Brown. You know I have black rage. You know that, right?
You do. You have the gift, Dave. This is great. You doing this. I was just listening to you on the radio. You know, waiting for the call. You sound brilliant.
Thank you so much. I come from the same generation that you did. In America, radio was in transition. It was screaming top 40, hopping and bopping and fopping with the best bed for the boss beat. We got Brian, and right at the time when it was changing into. That's right, we got Brian May on the phone. I'm a delicate house blend. What are you listening to these days? What are you listening to these days? What's in your CD collection, Brian May?
Oh, there's a young band in England called the Kaiser Chiefs. Have you come across them?
Okay, Sasha is grabbing her chest. That's a great sign.
I love the Kaiser Chiefs.
Okay, well, write this down because we're going to spin it up. We'll download it and spin it up. What else are you listening to? Share.
I like the Darkness. You know, they're very quirky and very strange, and they're actually not at all like us. But
yes, I know that.
But everybody thinks they are for some reason. But I enjoy them. I think, you know, I love the humor that pervades what they do. I think humor is such an important part of keeping sane, apart from, you know, keeping the music sweet. You know?
Well, it's also a kind of an illustration with a sense of humor. I'm painting this carefully. It's an illustration with a sense of humor that kind of depicts you in a sort of a funny way, like a political cartoon might. And I'm always proud of my political cartoons.
Yeah, I would be proud of that, Dave.
No, I wear them like a belt buckle at the end of a rodeo, okay? Yeah. Is when people make a reference to me or homage, or especially when they make fun, I make sure everybody sees my cartoon.
Yeah, the best thing is to make fun of yourself first, I think, before anyone else can do it.
Good point. How do you guys rehearse for a tour these days? How long did you fellas get together and actually spin up the songs?
Well, we had a long sort of breaking in period in the beginning last year because we didn't intend to do the world tour, big. It was just let's get together and do something, and then, the word spread and it became fun and it kind of snowballed. For this part of the tour, we did about a week, but we do sound checks religiously. We never go in with cold.
Well, that's interesting because we rehearse religiously, and I haven't been to a sound check in 17 years.
You're a bad boy.
I know. I got to be sent to Sasha's room. How many songs you guys playing in one show now? How many are you up to?
It's a big show because there's quite a lot of hits to sort of cram in there.
You have more hits than Tony Soprano, and you play them all? Do you play them religiously?
Yeah, not religiously, no. We play them pretty hard. We run around and it's a big show and there's a lot of lights and, like in a sense like the old days, but it's a new band because Paul interprets. He's a real, there's no way he could be an imitator. He sings from the heart.
Oh, he's an original, definitely.
He really is. It's great. And so every song is really viewed in a different light, and I really like that.
Are you sick of any particular songs? You don't even have to name the tune. You sick of playing any particular tunes?
No, any other people's, really.
Because, I've maintained that some of our best interviews may actually be with dead people. I intend to interview Jimi Hendrix and Miles Davis, and I've already had a few conversations with Beethoven, and he is so sick of da-da-da-da.
Like a dead man walk, Dave. Are you singing? How much are you singing these days?
Oh, I sing throughout all kinds of tracks here, all right? What we do is called track blasting. I took all the intros, all the break beats in the middle of all my favorite rock songs, all my favorite hip-hop stuff, all the Latino, the reggae, etc. Took out the vocals and the guitar parts, and we spin it up here. And we have B. Young, our guitar player, in studio live with all the guitar array and all the amps and etc. And we can jam with virtually any kind of music here in the studio. And I chime in routinely on all the kinds of paths. I don't think we've played as much music in front of as many millions of people in the last 8 weeks as my entire career. We put the traveling on hold up until probably about a month from now, and then we'll be broadcasting. Brian, I'm not going to give up my life of danger and intrigue.
What?
I'm not giving up my life of travel, danger, and intrigue here. We're just getting our roots on the radio, and then we're going to start and travel and play again.
Wonderful. Are you talking to Ed? Are you together?
No, I have given Ed a number of calls. I always call right after New Year's, and then I call right around the 4th of July, my two favorite holidays, and there is no contact. And I have gone on the radio and said, hey, guys, lest we follow down a track where we lose somebody. God forbid that any of us turn out to actually be mortal.
Yeah, I miss him. I haven't talked to him for ages, and I really do miss him.
Yeah, so do I. And if you run into him, as I fully expect that you may, because you are a hero of ours, all right? You always
run into him very hard.
If you run into him, put in the good word. And tell him, hey, how hard is it really to play Running with the Devil? I mean, I can't play it, but for you, come on.
You do jump. Come on.
Exactly. And I still got the high note. This is part of the reason that we do the music.
Show me.
Okay, well, when we finish the commercial, we'll spin up a tune here, and we'll catch it up for you here. Are you going to be playing in the New York area anytime soon?
Yeah, Nassau Coliseum. Pretty soon. How long is it? 3 days time?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where I am. Yeah, Nassau Coliseum, we'll be there. Queen and Paul Rogers.
Outstanding. What's up in the future? Are you guys going to continue making records from this, or are you going to, quote-unquote, see how it ends up?
I think we may go in the studio. We've been talking about it. We actually do one of Paul's, a new song in the set, which is a lot of fun. And it happened very quickly and easily. We seem to be able to, it does feel like a real band. Everybody can do their stuff. Nobody's pretending.
The two worst words in the English lexicon are band meeting. Wait a minute, strike that. The two worst words in the English language are acoustic set. But when you guys would do it, you took away the onus. Do you play acoustic during your show? Because that's something I would definitely look forward to.
Just a little acoustic, we do. Yeah, we do a bit of that. But it's big and loud. In the way that it used to be. And
love it.
I think we play a little better than we used to, in a sense. I think we're a little bit more connected to our heads.
Maybe you value the experience a bit more.
Well, that's true. I feel very grateful that we're out here. I can't believe it. I look out and see those people and think, my God, I'm a lucky man.
Oh yeah. Let me ask you this: what is your connection to the air guitar?
Oh, the air guitar. We kind of took that up early, and I put some collections of songs together in England on CD, which were the greatest collections of air guitar in the world ever. And I would recommend that I get them to you, because every great riff is on there, just about, including a couple of yours, man.
When we think about the old cowboy heroes, you always knew exactly the name of the horse and what kind of gun he used. Are you using the same guitar you always used?
Yeah, it's the one that me and my dad made. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to ask you, what's the background on that axe? Share with us where that comes from. What you used, what music you used to make that. What kind of axe is that? Go ahead.
It's just completely homemade. I couldn't afford a guitar when I was a kid. I was about 18, so we spent about 2 years, me and my dad, making the thing, and experimenting and trying out ways of stretching strings across bits of wood, and it just worked out great, and it's become an extension of me. So it's a signature sound. Even if we've never heard the song that it's on, you recognize that signature tone instantly. It does have, yeah. And there's only one of these. This isn't like B.B. King's Lucille, where there's 380 of them, correct? Well, there's now a lot of mine, because we have a lot of copies, and we sell them,
But you still do the you still play on the original one, correct?
The original one.
How much is that insured for?
Well, it's sort of beyond price, really, and so it isn't insured, strange enough. I think it's just, if it goes, then that would be the end of that. There would be no replacement. You're the guy who didn't sign a prenuptial. What kind of amps are you using these days? The same kind of stuff? I use Vox AC30s, same as I used to. And isn't that what the Beatles used to play? Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's of interest to the folks, because a lot of the folks here are not musical who are listening in and stuff. And explain what those amps are. What year are those amps from? The originals are from the 50s, and it was a unique design. It's not like the normal kind of rock and roll amp, which is a Class B arrangement. This is a Class A valve, or what you would call tube arrangement, and the distortion is very low if you play at low levels, but it just gradually creeps in very smoothly. So when you play at high level, it has a very smooth compression-type distortion. In fact, it doesn't even sound distorted. It just sounds like big. I call it explosive violin. Yeah, that's something I would. Yeah, that's a good description. Yeah, I love those amps. They're new now. We have new ones now, and I have them. I have some of them stripped out, so there's nothing but what I need in them. Oh, absolutely. Interesting. Got any recommendations before we go here for new young musicians, Brian May? Just believe. Lead with your face. I've been places with mine. You wouldn't go with a pistol, Brian. We're talking to Brian May, one of the champion guitar players of all time, face that we know from Queen, etc. And they're going to be coming around town here very soon. We'll start announcing all of those dates here in the remainder of the show. Brian, say hello to everybody for me. Thank you, and I hope maybe we'll see you in New York. Oh, absolutely. That would be great. I would love that. Brian, you're a great guest. Call us again sometime. Thank you. Thanks for having me, Dave. God bless. God bless you. Brian May from Queen. I can't top that, man.
David Lee Roth, mornings. 92.3 Free FM.